Hello everybody, this is my official entry to the Monaciello Cellars Cook-Off Challenge. Vineyard Chicks and their parents were so gracious to gift us with these wonderful, wonderful wine vinegars. And I ended up with the star anise flavor, which, by the way, there's no recipes with star anise vinegar. It just couldn't find them. So I personally had to come up with my own recipe. So hopefully it came out good. Hopefully you all enjoy it. And let's get started. Okay, so here we are. And first and foremost, a sharp knife is the safest knife to use. You want the knife to do the work for you. You do not want to do the work for the knife. So, you want a really sharp knife. Next, you want to get a wet paper towel, throw it down, and put your cutting board down. This is going to prevent from slippage. So, my recipe calls for pork bellies, basically. And what I have here is bone-in pork bellies. It saves money. Just to do the work yourself. Now, what you want to do is find the cartilage. I don't even think there is one in this one. I think I got a freebie here. We'll come back to that one. I like cutting my meat a little bit frozen. It kind of keeps its dexterity. So I'm looking for chunks about this size. Bite-sized chunks after it's done cooking. So what I'm doing is creating these slices, and now I'm going to get to a cartilage, piece of the bone, cartilage. I'm going to cut right beside that and pop it right out, just like that. Then you have yourself a nice piece of pork belly. So we're going to go right through that again. And we're going to pop out that cartilage. See how easy that is? And probably saving yourself $1 a pound just by doing this. So like I said, you want the knife to do the work for you, but remember this is also frozen as well. So, see? Just like that. And then you're left with a beautiful piece of meat. Oh. There we go. So you're going to come into the bigger parts of the cartilage. When you get to that point, you're not going to really be able to rip it out. So if you cut alongside, like so, you can get that piece out, and then you're left with a little bit of deformed. We might be cutting these a bit more. There's a bone right there. I'm going to trim off some of that fat along with the bone. See the bone right there. And move on, like so. Yeah, I'm finding the bone down there. Just cut right through that. So it looks to me like I can get away with cutting out this whole section here. Maybe rip off that piece of meat. But it's mostly fat that I'm seeing there. So once again, just cut right alongside the cartilage, just like that. And you have yourself a nice piece of meat there. So I'm going to go ahead and continue through all of our pork belly. And we're back. Changed up the view a little bit for you. So we have our pig belly all cut up, and as you see, we really lucked out. It was mostly fat and very little bone and cartilage, so we lucked out quite a bit there. And of course, I have our recipe that I came up with, because you cannot really find any recipes for this star anise vinegar. So I came up with one, like I said before. So on this plate we have all our measurements for the most part, except for the honey. I'll do that when we mix this together. So we have our tablespoon of garlic, our half tablespoon of ginger, our 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of honey, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1/8 of pepper, aka a pinch, 3/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, with our 3 pounds of pork belly. So what we want to do now is grab our bowl and put all of our ingredients into the bowl. Kind of doing this off scene. That was the most filled cup, so I can bring it back over. So that's the soy, the olive oil, the star anise vinegar, along with our honey. I know, I should be measuring it, but I like to think I'm a chef here. Okay. So that was our tablespoon of honey, along with the brown sugar, the ginger, and the garlic, with our pinch of pepper. We're going to go ahead and get that all nice and mixed up. I think that looks pretty good, huh? So from here, we're going to go ahead and add our pork bellies. Right in there. And we're going to get this all nice and mixed up and incorporated together. All that beautiful garlic and ginger. Now you would think this is going to be a delicious dinner tonight, but you're wrong. What you want to do, after you get this all nice and mixed up, grab yourself a bag and a rubber scraper. And what you're going to do is you're going to throw everything in this bag and let it sit for 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. Let's see if I can do this smart. Invert the bag a little. Make a little pouch. And hopefully we won't make too much of a mess here. Mrs. Cosmic is busy taking care of Dad. Sorry, this is probably really time consuming and annoying to you guys. I do apologize. When you're trying to, you know, make a movie while you're cooking at the same time. things happen. You want to make sure you scrape all of that good stuff. To all you chefs out there, you know what I'm talking about when I say the $1 million tool. This tool right here, throughout the course of a lifetime, could potentially save you $1 million, depending on how much you cook. Those are facts. So we'll throw that in our sink over here. I'm going to go ahead, throw that piece in there. We're going to close it off. Get most of the air out of there. You want a little bit of air just so you're able to manipulate this. And throughout the night, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. When I grab a drink, I'm going to grab this bag and just manipulate it. Make sure all the meat is nice, marinated. And from this point on, I'll see you in 24 hours from now. Hello? It has been 26 hours since I've marinated our pork belly in the Monaciello Cellars vinegar marinade that I made from scratch. So what we're going to do next is get this fired up and show you the other steps that I'm going to be doing to create dinner. Okay, slightly better view for you all. So first thing I want to do is get my rice going. So we're going to be doing instant Jazmin rice. Simplistic steps. So we need 4 cups of water. And this is our water that we actually gather ourselves at 90 gallons at a time. So the instructions here are to add 50-50 water to rice. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But we're going to go ahead and throw that in the microwave for a few minutes and you'll figure out why. So meanwhile, I'm going to get my broccoli started here. I'm also going to start heating up that water back there. While those are all going, you're going to need 1 bunch of green onions. You just want to cut them up, set them to the side. That'll be going on top of what we're creating here today. So like I was saying, we got our broccoli. I know I'm kind of cheating here. We can't grow broccoli. We don't know how yet. We will pay attention to all of our Shedwars warriors to figure out how to grow broccoli. So some of the bigger heads, you just break apart by hand, like so. We're going to go with a second, 2 pounds of broccoli. We are big eaters here. I must say, wifey did an excellent job last night cooking dinner. It was delicious. And again, I'm just breaking up these crowns into smaller pieces. Throw a cap on that. Our water, the 2 of 4 cups is now warm enough. What we're going to do is we're going to add some chicken bouillon to it. It's approximately going to be a tablespoon. I just want a little flavor. I don't want overwhelming flavor. Get this all mixed up. Yep, that is in the camera. Excellent. So just a smidge of chicken broth. We're going to add that to the other cups and mix 4 cups of water. Once everything gets to a boil, steaming and whatnot, I'll go ahead and bring you back. We'll start cooking this delicious stuff. There's no more marinade in it. It has completely soaked right into the meat. I can only imagine how this is going to be. Okay, so we're back. Our water for the rice is starting to boil. Our broccoli is starting to get really hot here. The next step is we want to measure out our rice to water, whatever you're going to do. Doesn't really matter. We just wanted Jazmin rice. I'm pretty sure this is the instant dehydrated rice, because all I have to do is throw it in there and it's all set, which great for me. So like I said, the water's boiling. This is 4 cups of water to 4 cups of rice. We are going to go ahead and throw that right in there, mix it up. Let it steep for a couple of seconds. Throw a cover on it, and I'll bring you back for the next step. So that actually didn't take long at all. Your rice has come back up to a boil. We're going to go ahead and turn that off. Make sure you turn on and off the correct burners. Not like wifey, who's in the other room right now. Next step is we're going to go ahead and get our pan nice and hot. You always want a hot pan before you introduce anything to it. It prevents from sticking, honestly. There is a lot of oil and fat, which is going to produce a lot more oil. You're not going to need much when you're trying to just coat the pan. Try to get as much of it as possible. There we go. See, nice and hot. That's what we're looking for. Really nice and hot. And that's also a way I test my oil to make sure it's ready. I'll go ahead and get a little water on my hand and flick it in there, and that result means it's hot. Really hot. This smells amazing. So with this, I got the not the sesame ginger, that was Gina's. I got the star anise vinegar. So we're going to go ahead. We'll turn on our fan. I don't know how annoying that's going to be for you guys. So what I'm doing is pretty much the same thing Gina was doing last night. I'll go ahead and get you a little bit better view. Oh, there you go. So we got our pork belly inside the pan, and all I'm going to do, toss it around, stir it around, get it cooked, browned up, and that's when I'll bring you back and we'll see how we're going to finish this off. So we're back. And about the only thing I've done is turned my broccoli on low and taken the cover off. But what I wanted to show you, what you're focused in on, is this process right here. I'm using a wok. And basically what I'm doing is I'm cooking my meat and all the juices are sinking down into the middle. When you get to that stage, you want to push your meat off to the sides, which is also going to help brown your meat while you're reducing all that delicious juice into a glaze for your meat. So essentially, all your meat should be halfway browned when you have your glaze ready to go. It's personal preference how you like your glaze. Some people like it runny, some people like it thick. Me, I like it on the thicker side. So you can see right there, if I can get that piece out. Let me step out of the light a little bit. Oh, well, you kind of saw how it was starting to brown over there. See if I can find a better example for everybody. Perfect. Get that to focus in. There you go. So you can kind of see how the meat is starting to brown over. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So that's the purpose of pushing all this up to the sides. Like so. Alright, once this reduces down a bit more, I'll bring you back for the final steps. Okay, so we've gotten to that stage where our delicious sauce is really thickened up. I'm sure you noticed the contrast from the last scene, how much it's reduced down and thickened up. You can see some of our meat is actually starting to brown up as well, right there, which is what we want. And this is what I've been doing, is just mixing things up, pulling it to the side, and making sure everything's ready to go. So our next step is we're going to take our broccoli and we're going to toss it right in here. Yeah, that one's hot. So we'll zoom out a little bit for you so you can see for the most part what I'm doing. I just have a pan of broccoli over here and that's going to go right in there. Now we're going to start coating everything else. Here we go. You can see some of our broccoli got a little overdone there. Whatever. All is well. It's all delicious food, hopefully. Since this is a recipe from scratch. Yeah, so next time you may want to cook your broccoli a little less, but I don't think it's going to affect the flavor at all. So like I was saying, this whole recipe right here is from scratch. I just did a little bit of research on flavors that went well with star anise. Just for me, they're generic flavors: ginger, garlic, honey, soy sauce, pepper, just things you would use on an everyday basis. And of course, I will get this into the description for everybody to read, hopefully enjoy. So I think everything's pretty well incorporated here. Our pork belly with a 24-hour marinade. Okay, we're back. So what we have here is our rice. That's been sitting on the back burner, getting all nice and fluffy. Ordinarily, we're not really big rice eaters. We try to stick to mostly vegetables and stuff, but you know, special occasions such as this. That's really hot. Turn off. Very nice looking. So I'm sure you recognize the plate from last night's dinner.
So see, we do our dishes.
Yeah, so we do our own dishes here. And then all those green onions. We'll go ahead and throw those on top. Let this cool off for a second, and we'll get a taste test for you. So we're back for the taste test. I'm trying to get wifey to come over here. Last night I had a problem eating my dinner. This is my fork. I shouldn't have an issue this time around, huh?
Alright, wifey's making pictures.
Yes. So, this here is our marinated pork belly over rice, tossed in broccoli. Thank you again to Monaciello Cellars
Very much.
and the Vineyard Chicks. Amazing.
Yummy. Very yummy.
So, I'm my own biggest critic. Gina says it's yummy, and it is. But here's the thing. I would go a little bit heavier on the marinade. Like I said, this was made from scratch. So maybe do times 1.5, or maybe even times 2 with the same amount of meat. You'll get those flavors that you do get. They are there, but they could have been much better.
He likes it saturated.
But it is.
Oh, they're there.
They're there, but I'm my own biggest critic, and yeah. So we're going to bring the parents out, and they can enjoy their second dinner with us. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again to Vineyard Chicks, Monaciello Cellars.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Everybody check them out at monaciellocellars.com, where you'll find probably some of the best wines, because I'll tell you what, these are some of the best vinegars I've had. So, amazing vinegars. So thank you everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Peace, love, and happiness.